Afro Svengalis. I'm coming on here, and first order of business is a confession. I lied. This is where I live. It is true. I ran my parents out of the trailer that they owned. I still live here. This is my home. The trailer that I so love. But I did a lot of work in this trailer. And one of the things I'm most proud of, scaring Dumpsey, Depp, derail Dempsey Spears off. Now, why am I saying Dempsey Depp? Because if you watch that trial, mixed verdict aside, those text messages sounded just like Dempsey. Dempsey Depp. That's your new name, Dempsey Depp. And the first guest, now that I've confessed where I live, will be Dr. Poop, who can take a dump anywhere she pleases. There's business to take care of here, people. Dumpsey Depp is so preoccupied with everything that I'm doing. God knows why. He keeps saying all this shit about me, but I want you to hear how preoccupied Dumpsey Depp is with me. And I can't seem to figure out why, based on all the things that he says about me. And we're going to take a trip down memory lane, but we're going to remain in the present day. Because Dumpsey Depp can't seem to keep his mouth shut when it comes to me and people I associate, while he's continuing to how supposedly irrelevant I am. He can't wait to spread bald-faced lies about me, and he'll find any drooling flunky he can to pay to take up the task. He hasn't succeeded. That's why he's getting more frustrated. He thinks he can run me out of town. How the hell is a coward gonna run me out of town? He's so angry about many things related to me. I'm not gonna spoil the fun, folks, because we're gonna have a mighty good time taking on this weak crybaby who whines constantly about me, about Rev G, about anyone that has anything to do with us. If he had it going on so hot, why in the hell would he have to mention our names? Well, we're going to delve into that. So I want you to hear the absolute, it's beyond even describing. You have to hear it for yourself.
I had heard that they fell out. But what about you trying to criticize my behavior? What about the hypocrisy of you trying to criticize her? So I didn't know how to necessarily gauge, because I didn't know where they stood with each other. Oh, they did. They got rid of his ass. And even though they got rid of this Humpty Dumpty looking ass Negro, he's still kissing her ass. And I'm like, dude, I said, brother, you're a hypocrite. I'm like, you want to sit here and minimize what she did. She didn't kick your ass. And I don't get this. How can you try to be, like, nice about the shit? That was the time for you to go off on her ass, talking about if Darrell say something about me, I'm contacting the Texas Justice, Department of Justice, and I'm going to say this and I'm going to do that. And I'm just looking like, are you for real? This nigga up there still up her ass. It's appalling to me how people just have this naivety towards just believing everything she says. Like, hey, let's say something, and it's like you all just discount all the lies of the past that have them and been proven and debunked. And you still got Negroes still in there. Like, dude, she is played out. Nobody watches her content like that. She can barely get 500 views on some of that stuff she does. Lenon has left her.
First, I want to start out by saying how much of an insult Dempsey Depp leveled against those who support me and those who I support. But that's all Dempsey Depp knows to do. He has no logical sense by which to address any issue involving me. He continuously speaks on issues he knows absolutely nothing about, such as to say, people believe whatever I say, and whatever I do is like some gold standard. So that's what people say when they don't have any idea about the relationships you have with people that are positive. He's used to negative relationships. He's used to turmoil. He's used to abusive conduct. So when he sees a situation, say somebody comes on board and they say they support us, and then not long after they leave, he latches onto that. But what he doesn't know is about the other relationships that have endured and stood the test of time, that were formed before I even came to YouTube. So if you look at that, and then situations that are not even related to YouTube are mirroring the people who are truly supportive. And I have to emphasize the support is mutual. So he has to try to degrade something he doesn't have any concept of. Because look at the way he treats people. Look at the quote relationships that he has. Because I'm a firm believer. How you treat people out here in public says a lot about how you treat people when others aren't looking. Can you imagine the treatment? I mean, this is a dude that people are talking about that went to a drive-through and ordered oatmeal and orange juice. So there's a clue right there. He's envious of any positive relationships he perceives others to have. What in the heck was a married man doing driving to a drive-through ordering oatmeal and orange juice? If he has this loving wife who he tries to convince us is living in that home, other than the blow-up doll, why wouldn't the wife, the loving wife, have breakfast prepared so the husband would not have to go to a drive-through and order oatmeal and orange juice? You think about that. And I personally don't give a hoot about what is happening in Dempsey Depp's household, but as you see, he's pretty occupied about every aspect of what I'm doing. And since he doesn't have information, he proceeds to spread all these lies. He always seems to be on the hunt for the next drooling, demon-infused goblin he can pay to spread lies. And that's what he was doing. I'm just trying to figure out this week. I don't even know what to do because I don't know what race I am this week. What am I this week? We've heard it all. What is it this week? I've never heard so much about my life until I came to YouTube. But you see my trailer. I've been married now several times and divorced several times. Now this is Dumpsey Depp telling everybody about my life. Well, I thought I had a white husband named Mark. What happened to him? Every single opportunity that Dumpsey Depp gets to spread lies about me and pay people to help him, he'll do it. He is envious. He's enraged because he covets people who have positive relationships in their lives. How can Dumpsey Depp have positive relationships in his life when he treats people like shit? And his characterization of people being up my ass and kissing my ass, this is what he perceives to be something that he would covet. He wants people to treat him like he's almighty, and he's not. He never has been. How can someone be almighty when they have absolutely no sense of honor, respect, or dignity, or loyalty to anybody, blabbing his mouth all over the place on people the second there's a falling out? People that he pays money to do his dirty work. As soon as there's a problem, he gets on here and spreads all their business. He is angry because he cannot sustain any positive relationships. He tries to pay people to stay around and they don't stay around. So what does he do? He transposes that situation onto me, saying that I'm paying people. Continuously tries to call me poverty stricken. Not poverty stricken, what is the word? Financial ruin. I'm in financial ruin. But he's accusing me of paying everybody. Every scenario that he brings up applies to him. I would say somebody's in financial ruin if they have to steal money from Medicare. I don't have to steal any money to make money. Dumpsey Depp stole money from the federal government. I thought he had it going on so bad. If that's the case, why did he steal therapist billing information and bill to get money for work he didn't do? And he's calling me having issues, having financial ruin. Now, this is not to say people who are having issues financially would steal. Not everybody would do that. In fact, I don't think most people would do that. But Dumpsey Depp did. He needed money and he stole it. Forget the fact that there was a settlement. He took the money and then has the nerve to turn around and call other people in financial ruins. He went and got a PPE loan. And his so-called fake friend, NPW, went and gave the information to Remix. So you think you have a friend? I don't have any friends like you do. With friends like Dumpsey Depp, you don't need any enemies. So it doesn't make any difference if somebody comes and goes. It has never changed. It has never changed. I've always had support and I've always given support to everybody. We're not going to come on here and here we have with the list of people, their names and phone numbers and email addresses. We don't have to prove anything to any person. We are enduring here in this YouTube space because we mutually support each other and we've made strides when it comes to our goals. And this is another thing that Dumpsey Depp cannot stand. What did he do? He ended up giving Umar Johnson $10,000 trying to buy his allegiance. And what happened to that? Nothing. Umar doesn't even acknowledge Dumpsey Depp for giving him all that money. Umar just took and took and took and took. Meanwhile, we have made incredible strides when it comes to Umar. We have removed him from the mainstream college circuit, so he's unable to get the lucrative deals. Umar has no business in any space that is multicultural or unifying because of the garbage that he spews. Oh, of course. Now let's address this comment he made about Lenon Honor. He said that Lenon left me. Let me make it exceptionally clear. What was happening with Lenon Honor was not brought here to the forefront. Why would we do this? We are not Dumpsey Depp or his co-demons. There was a lot of stuff going on with Lenon that we still have not brought to the public. It's not for public consumption. So as far as the comment that Lenon left me, that is another lie. I left Lenon Honor's chat, and I had very good reasons for doing that. So those people out there who want to continue to pretend it was over Glorion Murray and a dumbass live stream, you're full of shit. I left Lenon's chat because of the way he treated Gerald. And there were people who knew this. Many people knew this who were trusted. And guess what? You never heard a word about it for how long? For how long? Dumpsey Depp is not in the loop. He doesn't know what the hell's going on. This is another support statement to those people who will have good relationships with. They did not come on and disclose that. They did not spread it around. That gives you the distinction between people who are trustworthy and people who were not. This had to be something that we didn't bring to the forefront because of a lot of things that were going on that I'm not getting into. Dumpsey Depp, you have to talk about who left you. Who left you, Dumpsey Depp? I'm not going over to Lenon Honor's chat. When was Lenon really over here on this page anyway? Not very much. So the statement doesn't make any sense at all. If I wanted to be like Dumpsey Depp and run after people and kiss their ass and just completely forget about what they did to people who were in need, and he didn't follow through on what he said he would do, I would go over there and act like nothing happened. I would go over there and kiss his ass and be nice and sweet. I didn't do that. I'm the one that left that chat. See, what Dumpsey Depp likes to do, he likes to create a scenario to make me seem as though I am suffering. I am in agony because Lenon Honor left me. Get it straight, numbskull. I left that space. I was not going to sit in a space where there was a person who passed around a photo, yes, Bernice did, claiming it was Lennon's anus, and he didn't do anything about it. I was not going to sit in a space where Lennon simply resigned to the abusers and left Gerald high and dry. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. I want to play or replay what Martin Luther King Jr. says about resignation and acquiescing to people who mistreat you. Stay tuned and I will return.
If the only alternative to violence, to fear, is violence and vice versa, then I would say fight. But it isn't the only alternative. One is to rise up in open violence, in physical violence. And some persons have used that method, persons who have been oppressed. But I think the danger of that method is its futility. I feel that violence creates many more social problems than it solves. Now, the other method that one might use is that of resignation or acquiescence. But I think that is just as bad as violence, because non-cooperation with evil is as much a moral obligation as is cooperation with good.
You know, as Martin Luther King Jr. was speaking, although I've heard this many times, it just came to mind. Obviously, Lennon is not the only person that engaged in this conduct towards us, or towards me specifically, I'll say in this instance. I'm reminded of what happened with E and J. I'm going to tell you something that no one knows. You know what? I need to stop before I go on. I need to make this statement very clear. I don't have any idea if E and J have troll accounts and fly around to different live streams harassing people. I never had any evidence of that. I have no idea if they are doing that. So I have to make that very clear. I think most of us at one time or another have wondered, is this person this person? But I'm talking about an all-out campaign where I'm repeatedly stating somebody is doing this under another name. I don't sign on to that. The attacks on E and J were incredibly cruel. They were so far beyond vicious. They were dehumanizing. For E and J, I actually got a channel down on their behalf. I got the channel down based on what was said about them. I have the very specific video, the very specific statements, and when I wrote to YouTube to complain about what was stated, the reasons that the channel came down matched up with what I put in. So I know I got the channel down. So what I want to say is this. My role here is to address the fraud, the treachery of public servants and frauds like Umar Johnson and others. My role here is not to go and attack people. And I'm in a self-defense position. So when you have people who ask you for help, you oblige, they get a substantial benefit. I am not saying you owe your grandchildren to me. You must put me in your will. But some of the behavior that they engage in is pretty appalling and offensive. Related to what Martin Luther King Jr. just stated, resignation to evil, acquiescing to people who very clearly, with evidence, have attacked families. And I'm talking about, let me see your handcuffs. I'm talking about Bernice. I'm talking about Glorion, and there are others. I could go on, but I'm giving you three main ones right there. E and J are on their show bigging up Lennon like he's a god, but they don't care that Bernice passed that picture around. Let me see your handcuffs has called the police. Let me see your handcuffs has called CPS. And with both agencies, deliberately and maliciously reported false information. You did it. Let me see your handcuffs. And there is proof that you did it. People know how evil she is. But there she is in E&J's chat, shouting them out. Pure evil being given safe harbor. Well, I wish I could tell you how very serious this situation has become. They are aware of this, but they support these individuals who haven't done anything for them, don't care about them. And if the situation was right, they would treat them the same way. You would want someone in your chat that makes false CPS reports. Do what you do. Go for it. Enjoy it. That's your decision. But to turn around and try to act like I'm the person who's the adversarial, I'm the person who initiates attacks, I'm the person you're going to try to lecture when I take a stand, that's total bullshit. And specifically, I'll tell you what happened. There was a live stream about young Pharaoh, and I should have never gone there because I am very hypersensitive about young Pharaoh. I'm not going to get into that as to my reasons, but they had a video, this whole shit about people attacking young Pharaoh, the nerve of people, and look who they're rocking with. Look who they're rocking with, and they're attacking young Pharaoh. But at any rate, the live stream was about young Pharaoh. And I think at that time, E&J had given me a wrench, which I'm sure people just were up in arms about that. Okay, I didn't ask for the wrench. They gave it to me. So at any rate, it was a live stream about young Pharaoh. And I made a comment. It was just a comment in response to what was being stated. It wasn't, actually, I should try to go find the comment. I made a statement, and I think it was a neutrality statement about both young Pharaoh and the mother of his child. Someone in that chat went haywire on me and mentioned Umar Johnson, said something about, which had nothing to do with the comment. So E&J appropriately addressed that. But they later came back after me saying that I was being adversarial. And I knew right then and there what this was all about. They couldn't take the heat of what was going on. They succumbed to the pressure of people who are evildoers. And that remains to this day. Fine, go for it. But don't come on here and act like people who are in the defensive position are creating the problems. See, this is what we talk about when we talk about acquiescence to evil, resignation to those who you know are doing things they shouldn't be doing. But whoever wants to ride with let me see your handcuffs, ride with let me see your handcuffs. But let's see if you're going to be willing to give content when the real shit goes down. That's what I'm going to be waiting for. I didn't plan to sidetrack, but it just happened. I had to get that out because it just came to my mind when I was listening to Martin Luther King Jr. What I want to say before I close out part one, because this is going to have to be a part two, because I definitely have some more things I need to say. It is insulting to hear Dempsey Depp try to come for Gerald. Just so you know, you cowardly, abusive, sexual harasser. Yeah, that's who you are. That's what you are, Dempsey Depp. Gerald Palmer has 2 acts of bravery on his service record from the United States Navy. Acts of bravery. What are your acts of bravery? And he has other acts of bravery specific to his family that I will not disclose. If Gerald elects to disclose that, he can. And another thing he was well known for in the Navy was his incredible strength and his ability to defend himself. So what do you have to show for? Anything. You don't defend anybody physically. You don't defend anybody morally like Gerald does. So how in the hell are you going to stand in judgment? You paid people to attack families and you are a therapist. You're a therapist and you advocate for violence. You have no call to judge me about any damn thing. You want people to stop being up my ass. You're jealous because people see you for who you are. They're just using you and you're trying to use them, but they always get you first. Like Nikki is using you and you're up here posting videos about somebody who's treating you like shit, who sent information over to Remix while you and Remix were in a dust up. She's accusing you of PPE fraud. And she's bringing in Remix. You're supposed to be rocking with NPW Dr. Poop, and she's stabbing you in the back. And you're still rocking with her. That's your freaking business. That's your detriment that you'll be dealing with. So you shouldn't be worrying about my relationships. I know who I can trust. I have the same people that I have trusted since I came onto YouTube. Not a single person has left. If somebody comes on and tries to be whatever you want to call them, a hanger on, they're trying to get some advantage, that's always discovered. It always comes out. That has never caused anybody to bail from me who actually does support me. And they don't ask for anything in return. I support them. I don't ask for anything in return other than to treat somebody with some decency. Garden variety decency, with you, Dumpsey Depp, have no clue exist. People, I want to make sure you hang on because I'm going to come back for part two. In the meantime, you know the drill. Buyer, be